amazing for the last 10 years.
Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning, and I got to get the whole name right. Mile High Hockey Lab.
The city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning, and I got to get the whole name right. Mile High Hockey Lab.
The city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning, and I got to get the whole name right. Mile High Hockey Lab.
The city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
Here's O'Connor racing in, shoots, and scores! Logan O'Connor! His second of the period, his second of the night, his fifth of the season, and the
course of the run we're about to go on. Try and do it for the guy next to you. I think about the Brent Burnses, the Nelsons, the guys who've played their whole careers and have such a great opportunity in front of them. You just want to do right by those guys and hopefully, make it all worth it in the end.
From Spectrum Community Services Studios in Colorado, USA, this is the Mile High Hockey Lab.
Well, hello and welcome to the Mile High Hockey Lab. My name is Adrian Hernandez. I am here today with Ezra Parter and Jackie K. So far, I believe Brendan Vogt will be joining the program. Not entirely sure. I know Evan Liu will not, but be thinking of them as we launch this 136th episode of the Mile High Hockey Lab. Please head over to the website milehighhockey.com, where you can find all of our written material to include Jackie's preview today, which dropped a bit of news as both Logan O'Connor and Ross Colton are set to return to the lineup for a game tonight against the Pittsburgh Penguins, which we will preview. We will look back at Colorado's weekend with a victory over the Capitals in overtime. Take a gander at what the lineup might look like tonight with Logan and Ross coming back. And look a little bit ahead at the games between now, if there are any between now and Friday. So let's talk hockey. Let's talk Avs hockey. Ezra, Jackie, thank you for joining me today. Ezra, I'm going to start with you. Where were you when you found out that Logan O'Connor was coming back, and how excited are you?
I was right here. I was sitting at my desk, and I was amped. It's great news. I love Logan O'Connor. I can't wait to see him play again. He's an excellent addition to the bottom six, and just a great guy who you want to be healthy. So that's great. I don't know how much of an impact he'll be able to make in his first game. We will see. If it was me, he'd be on a little bit of a pitch clock, but just to make sure he gets up to speed. I know he's been skating with the team, but a real intense playoff push is a little bit different than practice. So, we'll see how much of an impact, how many minutes he actually gets, but I'm so excited to see him back out there.
I think he hasn't even had a practice.
Yeah, I was
He's skating with the team, but yeah.
That there was some quote about, well, if we waited to get him in some 5-on-5 drills, he might be waiting a while. So
yeah.
I mean, with the way the schedule is, they're not practicing.
Exactly. Yeah, there's not a lot of days to practice. The morning skates are about as good as it gets, as it seems. Brendan Vogt has now joined the program, folks. Welcome, Brendan Vogt from Hockey Mountain High. Brendan, you look a little disheveled, like you were hurrying your way in here. I want you to take a deep breath and know that everything is totally fine. We got your back. You haven't missed anything. We just launched the show, so everything is okay. But I know for a fact that you're probably very excited about Logan O'Connor's return, as he's one of the guys who's made his way through the system that is the Colorado Avalanche, and now a staple of the bottom six. Where's your head at with Logan O'Connor and Ross Colton returning to the lineup? Oh, we got you muted. Sorry, you're muted, handsome. Oh, he needs a second. Jackie, let's go to you real quick. Where are you at? I think, well, before you go on, I'm going to go to my topic with you, which is, are you a little bit bummed, as this kind of means Bartikov and or Brindley, that experiment will kind of come to a pause at least?
I don't know if I'd use the word bummed. I don't have any attachment to either of them, so I knew it was coming. But yeah, we'll see really how the other shoe drops, if that means that Brindley gets reassigned once they get back from the road trip, and knock on wood that they don't pick up any other injuries, which does tend to happen on a long road trip. But my comment about O'Connor coming back is, does that mean Parker Kelly gets to go back to being mid? Is that how that works? Because I think there's only room for one kind of miracle 20% shooting fourth liner. So we'll see how that works. Benner likes that line with Drury, Kiviranta, and Kelly. So if Lehkonen comes back and then nobody else gets hurt, knock on wood again, maybe even Kiviranta is out of the lineup, and he'll have to break up that line, but he's been really fond of it. So I guess that's what I feel is interesting. I mean, sure, it's good that O'Connor's back. He's a big part of the team and everything. I don't know that it's really going to change their on-ice results much, especially since the guy hasn't even practiced. So he really should take some time to get up to speed. But, I mean, sure, it's cool that guys aren't injured anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's oddly enough, that's like the way to put it, because you can't. We've been told this story a lot lately, like with Landeskog. I try to tell people this with Mackenzie Blackwood, like guys coming back from surgery, guys, Ezra, as you mentioned, who miss camp, you have to afford them a little bit of a grace period. But as I played the little soundbite, courtesy of the Colorado Avalanche X account that Logan gave, he's viewing this playoff run as a huge opportunity, calling back to his younger self and saying, like, the younger version of me would see this as an awesome opportunity, even though it's been kind of a year of setbacks. Brandon, you know what it's like to have a setback injury-wise in the middle of a career and stuff like that. Tell me, coming back for a playoff push, albeit probably the biggest challenge, maybe the most rewarding time frame to return to?
Well, he's going to be more motivated, in my opinion. So he's going to be looking at something it's going to give him something to push for even more, other than, that Stanley Cup, is to get Burns that Stanley Cup, like he mentioned in that little video clip. And then also he's going to be looking to get his second. So, and he's got fresh legs to do it with. So even though he's, coming off a injury. So
sure. Yeah. Well, fresh. That's funny that you said quote unquote fresh legs, like not having gone through an entire season, but also like not having been brought up to speed, to Jackie's point. So there will be a little bit of a leeway time. But in terms of Ross Colton, I think he's pretty much going to get slotted back into the role that he had prior to the injury. Would you all agree with that?
What role is that? Does he have a role? How would you define Ross Colton's role?
The guy who plays wing when they can't find anybody else to play wing.
On some line.
Yeah, he's the forechecking presence on the third line. That's what he does, and that's where he should be, especially with the top six healthy. When he slots up the lineup, he's a forechecking presence on a different line. But it has been interesting with the injuries the Avs had with Landeskog, Lehkonen, Colton all out. Those are all the primary forecheckers on their lines, pretty much. So the team noticeably struggled defensively because they weren't able to push like that. So wherever Colton slots back in, which we assume is going to be the third line, he will be looked to make that presence felt on the forecheck.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the lineup. What like the question is always at the end of the group of forwards, at least in this scenario. And it's like, is it this guy or is it this guy? Well, it officially feels like the totem pole of talent, as we talked about earlier in the season, Jackie, is starting to reflect that more of a team that does have some real depth. And within that, we are seeing the guys like Brindley and Bardakov kind of notched down on the totem pole to not even contemplating whether or not they're going to make the lineup as long as everyone's healthy. It is the Kiviranta. Where does Ross Colton fit into that? Is he somebody that you guys foresee as a potential healthy scratch? Because we know that Bednar loves Kiviranta. And at this point in the playoffs, what you're paying the guys doesn't really matter. You want to ice your best chance. Where does he fit in terms of that? Or is he a set and forget lineup person, Ross Colton?
I mean, that's a good question. We'll see if that ends up happening. I guess I'd still be surprised to see him a healthy scratch, because I think you're galaxy braining it if you think Kiviranta gives you a better chance to win than Ross Colton. Even though Colton can be very inconsistent. But I mean, I would be saying, what are we doing here? Like, what do we think that we're trying to get here? So I would say no, but stranger things have happened.
Sure. Yeah,
well, I would completely agree with that. Yeah. And there's also a culture component to scratches, right? Like Ross Colton is a guy who's really a huge part of that locker room. If you've listened to post-game interviews from various places, he's the guy who sets the music. He's a guy who, if the coaching staff did him wrong, I think the locker room would be upset about that in a way that scratching Kiviranta wouldn't upset anybody. So
and he gets pouty too.
And he gets pouty too. Yeah, he's not a guy who would handle that well. And if you're trying to unlock the best version of your team, you need to be putting him in a position to be an effective player in your middle six. Giving him a healthy scratch is not that. I'd be shocked if he's scratched over Kiviranta.
That and Ross Lee is third on the team in hits, and they've been missing that.
Definitely.
So the other question that this poses to me, and it starts with you, Jackie, because we talked about way long time ago before the trade deadline. That we hadn't seen Nelson filling up the net yet, and we were talking about, well, geez, do we really have a 2C? Well, fast forward to now, and multiple things have changed. Nelson keeps scoring, and
has he? I mean, he's had a couple, but I wouldn't say scoring.
I would say his shooting percentage is still higher. It's higher than you thought it was going to be, right? And I think there's still time for it to regress. I know that's what I'm saying. I know there's time for it to regress, but
it regressed enough where Altitude was getting the sads about.
Sure, but
and they were starting to whine, and that Nelson needed to score.
Him being a 30-goal scorer probably wasn't on the horizon maybe in the first month and a half of the season, and now it's a reality. So I think that changed, as well as the Avs go and do something crazy at the deadline and pull Kadri off, who already won a Stanley Cup as your 2C. Are the Avs now afforded the option to have that third line, Jackie, that you previewed way long time ago, which features Landeskog, Nelson, and in this scenario, Ross Colton, who we've deemed the third line winger?
Or Lehkonen. I mean, they truly would have a competitive advantage if you can. I would say Lehkonen as the third on that. Now, do they have the horses to do that right now? That's debatable. But sure, if you have everybody healthy, you have Kadri, you can do different things with the 2C position. Sure, I think you do have more options. Like I said, I don't think they're quite too ideal. I mean, sure, maybe you're never at ideal. I still think they're probably missing one decent winger that I think then would really set it. So if you're asking what's a hole, probably that, and they're obviously not going to fill it. So they're probably still a little light in that area, but sure, they have a lot more options that they can.
They're definitely now. Yeah, they're definitely closer to that version of a lineup than they were months ago, which I think is appealing. And as you said, like when we talked about that potential lineup, it was kind of pie in the sky stuff. But it was also us comparing to the 2022 club, which, as those of you know, went 16-4 and was downright dominant. There's potential for that same sort of thing to happen this year. Just when you look up at the matchups, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself as a person who reports on the Avalanche, but also likes when they win. But I'm curious, like, do you guys see the playoffs shaping up similar to 2022, where like the Pacific is now being referred to as a quote pillow fight, according to Connor McDavid and Wayne Gretzky, and the first round matchup is probably with the worst playoff team in the West. So there's potential for the Avs to do exactly what they did in 2022, in my opinion, which is sweep that first round, struggle in the second, and then have a potential lopsided Western Conference final on their hands like they did against Edmonton. But go ahead, Jackie.
I mean, yeah, the Pacific sucks for sure, but I've been saying the darkest timeline is that first round matchup is like Vegas.
Yeah.
I also don't think Edmonton is ideal either. Like, yes, they've had their issues, but the prize for winning the President's Trophy is playing either of those teams in the first round is no bueno.
Yeah. No, I agree. They have those sleeper team vibes, right? Like, kind of slept their way through the regular season, got in, and now it's just about winning 16 games, and they have the talent.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, the darkest timeline is Vegas is in there. If it's like San Jose or someone, I'm not worried about Seattle. I know Evan always brings up Seattle because of the history and everything. I'm not concerned about Seattle. If they get them, then okay.
Well, people forget in that series the Avalanche were a shell of themselves.
What was the nuke thing? But they were losing before the nuke.
They were already injured before that happened.
Nuke and they
nuke
had like a
10%
was like, power play.
Yeah,
so
nuke
there
being
were
good
multiple
and
things wrong. But
it was the silver lining.
I'd be very surprised if Seattle was a true threat to them this year. But
yeah,
like I said, the whole pillow fight is becoming weird, and that's not necessarily a good thing for the Avs. I see where you're going with. Maybe that sets up the Western Conference Final potential as not a big hurdle, and that's possible. But it being bizarre doesn't necessarily help the Avs, I don't think.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, right now, if you look at the wild card standings, the top two wild card teams in the West, if playoffs started today, which obviously they don't, are both Central Division teams, Utah Mammoth and Nashville Predators. So the chances that Colorado plays a Central Division team in the conference final against the quote unquote Pacific Division, it's a realistic possibility. I think it's not unreasonable to say that Utah would be favored over Anaheim, Vegas, Edmonton, all those Pacific teams, the way that they're playing right now, and especially with Draisaitl being out most likely for at least the first round of the playoffs. Man, it would be a mistake, I think, to count on a Western Conference final against a cakewalk Pacific team, because either Edmonton has gotten Draisaitl back and they're playing well. Vegas has figured out their goaltending and they're playing well. Or you see Utah or Anaheim, both of whom, if they're getting that far, something's working in a way that's surprising. So, man, the Pacific Division is bad, but whoever comes out of it is probably going to be playing well.
So yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
That's a great way to put it.
It's a team that's won 2 playoff rounds, so you can't take that lightly.
Well, and the Oilers also could possibly be down McDavid right now, at least. So I heard he left practice yesterday.
Wasn't that like fake? Yeah. Wasn't that like literally a different person?
I don't know what the heck to believe right now.
He's fine.
Yeah, I thought that was that might have got noted as a old video that was recirculated.
That's Edmonton fans wanting people not to worry.
Well, regardless, probably by the time the Avs play them in the playoffs, he'll be back.
Yeah, because Alberta would burn down if that were the case.
Yeah. That's just like a really good way to think about it, though, Ezra, because like the playoffs are such a thing about who's hot. We've seen teams like the LA Kings come in as the lowest wild card in the bracket and win the whole thing because they get hot at the perfect time. And there's always potential for that. There's even more potential for that, to Jackie's point, with teams like Vegas and Edmonton who harness superstars like Eichel and McDavid and Marner and these guys. So it makes sense to me that maybe I'm asking for something I don't really want, because another Central team in the Western Conference Finals predictable in more ways than one. Right now, it looks like what's potentially going to happen, as well as there are teams that you'll be more familiar with and have more of a track record and a rapport with. So I think like maybe that is the better path, is to keep it in the division, because you've already proven you can handle your worth. It's just this.
It makes it
this
easier
whole,
for the other teams. Like on paper, to play Nashville would be like, okay, this is easy.
Oh,
but
that'd be great.
And obviously they're not that good, but like the Avs haven't had great games against them, and you would think in a 7-game series they would just get it together and beat them. But that familiarity aspect isn't ideal for the Avs. It's better for the inferior team.
Well, let's talk about the familiarity aspect as it pertains to tonight, which, Jackie, I don't know if there's a way for me to like package an entire season's worth of films, of podcasts, but I think I can do it on YouTube as a playlist. But if I were to, I would title it The Year of the Revenge Tour, because
that's not even like a this year thing. That's just like human nature in sports.
Sure, but it's just become so apparent to us on this show because of your influence. And tonight we have another opportunity where we saw the Pittsburgh Penguins absolutely thump the Avalanche, as I put it in the episode following the game, 7-1 or 7-2. It was 7-2.
It ended up 2.
Yeah. And now the Avalanche in Pittsburgh will have a chance to exact their revenge. A couple of questions that I hope maybe one of you can answer. Do we know if Girard is going to play? One.
For now, it looks like as he will.
Cool. He has been. He played the other day, so
nice.
I assume so.
Okay. And also, if we do get a revenge sort of outcome, are we thinking lopsided the way it was in favor of Pittsburgh, or are we in for another tight contest tonight?
I mean, Pittsburgh's decent. They have a lot on the line, so yeah, I probably wouldn't assume a lopsided win, just because they have a lot to play for themselves. So you would expect them to put forward a good effort.
Not that we condone gambling, not that we're against it, but that the Avs are the 160 money line favorite right now. So the Penguins are an underdog despite being on home ice, which tells you kind of two stories based on how gambling odds work and stuff like that. But I just see this as in the buildup to the Avalanche Penguins game where they got their butts kicked. We had kind of pegged it as not an easy win for the Avalanche, but one where if they took care of business, they could find themselves in the win column. Brennan, do you still view them like that, even though we've seen otherwise in this 7-2 defeat?
The Penguins?
Yeah.
Well, they've got Crosby back, but they're missing Malkin. So I think that's kind of a break-even type situation. But and then they have Ryan Graves back in the back, the third pairing. But I've heard, based on what I've seen on the Twitter sphere, fans aren't so keen on Girard and Letang playing together.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Well, I mean,
so I don't know how to feel about the threat of Girard and Letang.
I mean, well, I'll tell you this, Brendan. We know as people who cover the Avalanche that the analysis of Girard being small is a little simple.
I know.
And so I think a lot of fan bases fall into that. And when you have two guys in Letang and Girard that fit that profile.
Well, Letang's not that small, is he?
I mean,
no,
he's not that old, small, but he's smaller and older.
He's more. I would say he's older than smaller.
But... Yeah.
Let's see.
I think he's 6 foot.
Well, I mean, I'm 5'5", so everyone's tall to me.
You
But
really
he's
want me to
6
say
foot.
something to that?
I mean, you can if you want to. The people know the truth if they've seen me, and then they give a little chuckle, and then they go, "Oh, that makes sense." But let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about tonight's game. A little more about tonight's game. Goaltenders. I think we're getting Scott Wedgwood tonight, or is it Mackenzie Blackwood?
It's Wedgie.
Wedgie versus Jari, I assume, since Jari got the
No,
nod
no
last
Jari.
time.
No Jari.
No Jari.
No, is she loves.
Just she loves. She
Jari
loves
plays
me.
for
Yeah,
Edmonton
yeah.
now.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I meant the guy that they got in exchange. But she
Skinner.
loves me. Yeah. Wasn't she loves a Canadian like 2 years ago?
No, he was
No.
Abbotsford. Abbotsford and Vancouver, and he won the Calder with Vancouver or with Abbotsford last year. He's the one who eliminated the Eagles last summer. Trust me, he was a thorn in our side.
Yeah, he's had kind of a tough year, but he's a good goalie in theory. So yeah.
I remember in his coming out kind of campaign in Vancouver, he was dubbed as kind of like the next guy, and they felt comfortable with moving him because of the goalie they had healthy at the time, and then things have changed considerably for the Canucks since then.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting situation. But let's get back to the Avalanche. I wrote an article on Tuesday, I think it was, about Martin Necas, because I feel like since the Olympic break, I really want to get your guys' input on this. Since the Olympic break, Martin Necas, in my opinion, has been the Avalanche best player. And that is on a team with McKinnon and Makar, who are both playing very well right now also. But Necas has really taken it to another level, to the point where I'm feeling pretty foolish in my slight of Chris McFarland in the wake of the Mikko Rantanen trade, in particular my slight of him not garnering a first rounder. Well, you hit pretty solidly on Marty Necas, and you still have Jack Drury. So I do want to for a moment revisit that trade. Obviously, for the Avalanche and Martin Necas, the same. The final say will come in the playoffs and where they go as it pertains to the Stanley Cup. But as we sit here today, even with all of that on the horizon, how do we feel about the trade here in March of 2026?
I mean, I'd still rather have Mikko. I'll say it.
Yeah.
I like Necas, and I did at the time. He has fit in well. He's done well. I'd have to look at some numbers to see if I agree with he's been the best player. But sure, he is playing well. I think he got some confidence from the Olympics. But I think there's and I agree with you that a first round pick probably maybe was asking for a little too much. But there's two things. They absolutely paid him more than they thought they were going to. There is no chance that they thought they were even going to pay him $10 million. So I think if it was like, oh, the Avs were genius, like they had to eat some crow with that portion of it. Like they had to wear it a little bit. The Drury part, I guess we'll see. Do they retain him? Do they pay him? What kind of impact does he make? He's I think I saw somewhere he has 1 point in like the last 15 games or something. I haven't independently verified that myself, but sounds about right. So, how much value do you put on the Drury part at this point? Yeah, we'll see. So if I could go back in a time machine, I would just pay Mikko. He's the better player. But no, is it a disaster trade? Absolutely not. Necas is a great player to have. Absolutely. There's certainly far worse trades they've made. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
So
in the comments of the article, it was like somebody said, "Can you imagine if Mikko just walked for nothing?"
Well, sure, but he shouldn't have been walked for nothing. He should have been paid.
I'll put it. So Drury has 2 points this month.
Yes. 2 points in the last 10 games. Yeah.
Yeah. So since March 2nd, he has 2 assists, and they were in the same game, and that's it.
And then some stats to validate my claim about Marty. Since the Olympic break, he's had 8 multi-point performances in the 14 games. He's piled up 10 goals and 24 points in that same stretch. He scored 8 of 10 contests after notched multiple point games in 5 of the first 6 games back from the Olympic break, and has had some pretty standout performances, to include that overtime period against Washington, where he was putting on a skating and possession clinic, which inevitably led to the winner. So that's kind of where my head's at with him being the best. I'm sure you could just go pull up some stats for Nathan MacKinnon and rattle off some that'll do exactly what, Jackie, you're kind of probably validated in saying, which is there's plenty of great performers on this team right now. But I think the part about Necas that's intriguing is, like Rantanen, the first clapback is, oh, well, anybody produces like that on a line with Nate. Where does Necas fit? Yeah,
I wouldn't say that.
Just keep your stick on the ice and you're good.
Yeah,
I mean, sure, it helps. I'm sure it does, but I wouldn't use that as like, I hated the whole Mikko was a product of MacKinnon BS too. Like MacKinnon benefits just as much from having a great winger too. So I think I don't like that argument.
Well, good hockey players tend to find other good hockey players on the ice, and I can speak from experience that, like, when I've played with higher level players, don't do that.
I was gonna say, you call yourself a good hockey player?
No. As long as you get in the right position and you have your stick on the ice, good hockey players will find you. I've played with one of my buddies, played junior, so he he doesn't even have to look, and he
knows where you are.
Yeah. He just knows if you're in the right position, you have your stick on the ice. Next thing you know, the puck is on your stick.
Yeah.
So those guys are gonna that's Mikko and Nate.
Conversely, when you're playing against talented people, there's nowhere to hide. And that's my experience in hockey. But let's talk about the, I guess, projection for Marty, because it's looking like he's going to be a 90-point player. He's probably going to score 40 goals. Or did he already score 40 goals? No, he got 30.
No.
Yeah, he's at 36 right now. Let me look real quick. Sorry.
What are his points? How many
he's
points?
He's at 84 points. So he's 86 points, excuse me. And he has 32 goals. So he's 8 goals shy of 40. Yeah. So he's 8 goals shy of 40, and he's 14 points shy of 100, 4 of 90. I think 90 is a given. What is, I guess, confidence scale on Martin Necas being a 100-point guy as we sit here with what? 12 games left.
That's including
could he get 15? I guess that's an interesting, because he should be at more point per game. I guess that will be interesting to see, can he clear 100 or not. So I will say, in the stats that I'm looking up, that MacKinnon has more 5-on-5 points, but Necas has more power play points since the Olympic break. So guess it depends how you look at it, but sure. I'm not gonna refute your claim that Necas has been the best. I mean, I think sometimes MacKinnon just gets anointed the best all the time just because. So I mean,
because most of the time it's true.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I think it's fair to let Necas wear it. I mean, I think it has been important that they've found some sort of success on the power play. So he has 8 points and MacKinnon has 5. So I think they did need somebody to step up on the power play.
Yeah. Well, that's been the topic of conversation for a long time here, is the power play. So it's hard to decide, like, is it good that he's the only one that's contributing to it, or is that a benefactor of the problem kind of thing?
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't think he's the only one who's contributing to it, but he's definitely the one who's racking up the points the most. And I think that is a key component of the question of will he have 100 points, right? If the power play keeps rolling, it's going to be because he's scoring on it. And if that's happening, then I think he definitely clears 100. I think we just said he has 8 playoff point or power play points in the last 14 games. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah.
So I think the next 14 asking for 8 isn't unreasonable. And then all he has to do is chip in a few on the at even strength as well, which when you're playing with Nathan MacKinnon, those points find you. So yeah, I think it's reasonable to say that. But again, I mean, going back to the Mikko Necas conversation a little bit, I do think what we had in Rantanen was a guy who was a primary driver on the power play and a beneficiary of McKinnon at 5-on-5 to some extent. And what we have in Necas now, the last few games, is the same thing. Letting him be more of a driver of the power play has unlocked that. And that makes them feel pretty equivalent to me. But you know, Rantanen obviously has a longer track record of success at the highest level in the league. So yeah.
Will it really be just one successful cup run for Marty though, that equalizes that, given that that's really all it is for Mikko in terms of that success being realized to the penultimate?
I still think Mikko's the better player. He just is.
I think that's not that anyone questioning that is actually questioning that is wrong. But as far as like their contributions to this team, they can be pretty equivalent in on that front alone. If Necas continues to be a power play driver, because McKinnon and him will play so well together at 5-on-5 that they'll keep scoring there too.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I could say that Mikko's a better player, but could their impact on this team become equalized like that through a cup run? I think that's fair to say. At the end of the day, though, I still say Mikko's better, but you know, you're in the margins here. You know, we'll say that
I think you're right. Like if you did a fantasy draft or like a fantasy draft and just had to start from scratch with all of the players currently in the NHL, I think Mikko goes ahead of Marty. I will say
I'd
though,
say 90, probably 90% of the time.
Yeah, I'd say though that the gap is maybe smaller than we thought it was when the deal first broke, which is coming as a huge sigh of relief for me, because my immediate thing, you know, I agreed with AJ from DNVR, which was like you get worse when you trade the better player in the deal. But in this scenario, with the way the landscape changed and has changed with the benefit of hindsight, I think the Avalanche did the best that they could with the situation, and have found themselves in a similar vein of what I mentioned with Washington, which is like they may have accelerated a mini rebuild, kind of not so much a rebuild, but a retool, I guess, if you will, in a smaller time frame than maybe it would have taken had they extended Mikko, which as a fan, it's entertaining at least. At least you feel like that's happening.
Yeah, I think with the way the cap went up, that kind of is a wash, because like the math that they were doing on Rantanen was with a lower cap number than what ended up happening, and then they had to go pay Marty, like Jackie said. So it is kind of like, yeah, the way that the cap went up, you could have paid Rantanen $14 million. You didn't want to. I don't know if there's an internal cap to this team at some point, but like
it was the McKinnon cap too. Like that was
it's
just
called
so
the McKinnon
stupid.
Cap.
Which
just
is
like McKinnon's the coach, not Bednar.
well, I don't know about that.
And it's not because he cares. He wants to win. Like he's already getting paid. I truly don't think that he would have been mad if someone that he knows and respects as a great player gets paid more. Like he gets it. So it wasn't because McKinnon would be mad, but it's just a way for teams to draw a line in the sand. Like other teams do it. Well, you can't get paid more than the captain. Well, when the cap is increasing like it is, you just can't hold on to that. Like if you, it's like what Dallas is trying to do with Robertson. They're going to have their own Mikko if they just don't suck it up and pay him, because the ship sailed.
Yeah, agreed.
You're not signing him for less than $12 million, and he should absolutely not sign for less than $12 million.
Yeah, but all that said, what they did with the extra assets that they got from Carolina in Drury and draft picks has made this team deeper and more competitive than it would have been just with Mikko Rantanen. Obviously, they would have found other ways to do that, but if you're just looking purely at Mikko versus what they got out of the trade, I think they are a deeper, more talented team because as a result of the deal.
I agree.
I
think
still
it's
don't
more
love the team building, and we'll see. Like we'll see at the end of this who ends up being right about that.
I think
I don't love the team building. I don't love we'll have to see what deal that second went in, but I
think you're validated in that concern, because I feel like the Avalanche have done things to maybe make attempts to right the ship in regards to that. I think that was a big part of why Kadri was brought back.
It's funny when you hear teams like Minnesota and Carolina, and they're like, "Oh, we still have these great assets," and I know they're just trying to make it sound better, but at the end of the day, they have deep teams and they have assets, and they have talent. Like both teams have top end talent, so we'll see. We'll see.
By the way, on altitude, they're showing Sammy getting dressed, so it looks like he's probably
Sam Girard. Very nice. Speaking of Sams, another Sam that I did a featured article about was Mr. Sam Malinsky, who looked great against Dallas. We'll get another installment of that tonight. The question I want to ask about him is, should he be the reason why we take a chill pill on thinking this defensive group isn't as adept as we are hoping? Is it just because we haven't seen it happen yet and that it will for Sam Malinsky? Because that's what it feels like happened with Martin Natchez.
I'm not quite there yet. I still think they have 2 third pairs.
Okay.
And I'm sticking with that until there's significant evidence. So we'll see. I mean, I get it. Like, he's on the rise. He has, his production is very inconsistent though. Like, look at the number, it looks good, but I still think his game in general is inconsistent. I don't know yet. I'm not ready to say like, oh, they have this set and forget top 4 defenseman. I don't think he's quite there yet.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Well, let's look ahead. And folks, while I have your attention, the about 250 of you, please head on over to the website, milehighhockey.com. Thank you for tuning into the Mile High Hockey Lab for your Avs and Penguins pregame coverage. Also head on over to Hockey Mountain High, where you can find the works of Brennan Vogt and Evan Liu. Brennan, I promise I don't ever forget you, my friend. But
better not.
I won't. Let's look ahead at the Winnipeg game.
Give you a little pat on the head, Shorty.
Yeah, exactly. And then let's look ahead at the Winnipeg game, which is another quick turnaround rematch, and another game where the Avalanche just lost the last contest 3-1. In fact, on a Saturday, March 14th, the Avs will play the Jets on Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. I guess, will there be enough for this one this time around? Because what I picked up on the first time was that the Avs were a little bit checked out.
Yeah, I mean, those matinee games never seem to go well for this team. I don't know if it's just kind of being an older team who's set in your routines and has a hard time getting up early. I don't know what it is, but they really struggle in those matinee games. They look sleepy in that game, and I don't think they're going to have the same problem in this game.
Yeah.
I think generally, didn't we think they played actually okay in that game? They just didn't really generate anything. It wasn't like one of their terrible defensive issues. And I hate to give them excuses, but that was the game after they sat on the plane for like 10 hours.
Oh, so, yeah.
I'll give them that. That's tough. People say, well, it's a charter plane. You're still sitting on the dang thing. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a charter plane or not. The fact that they sat on the tarmac for like 5 or 6 hours is ridiculous. So
not ideal.
I will give that to them, that after that, you're just not going to have any jump.
Jeez, I don't even have like a sound bite for the opposite of Jackie's bones to pick. That was like,
I will. Jackie's... I'm giving them grace. I'm giving them an excuse. I'll hear it this time. Like, that sucks, and that's gonna affect you, especially true when you have a bunch of old geezers and probably didn't feel too good that morning.
And they can't get their early, their early bird lunch and all that.
No nap. The game is during nap time. Like, what are we doing?
It throws off everyone, dude, including us.
Exactly. And truly, that wasn't their worst game either. That they just couldn't score, but they actually played okay.
I turned on my TV and went, "Oh yeah, that's right. The Avs are playing right now."
That's like every single weekend. It's like I've said this before. I'm happy for our European friends. Like, that's cool that they can actually have a game on the weekend in their time slot, and that's cool. But actually, on an aside with that, did you hear the NHL wants to think about doing weekday matinees for that reason, is so that the Europeans can actually watch games
They
in
can
their
go.
evening.
They can go eat a crow.
Wow.
That is the nicest thing I can say to that.
But are they going to be able to get enough tickets? Might be only certain markets. Who knows? But anyway, that's
I'd be surprised if that's something they can consistently do, since everything in the league is so driven by gate revenue. You're not going to sacrifice ticket sales for TV deals,
unless they just make sure make it a school day game and try to get them in that way. It could probably work in some markets. It wouldn't be like an all the time.
California.
I wonder if they could do some kind of deal with schools to get like a field trip or something.
Yeah,
well, yeah, like Bakersfield. Yeah, because Bakersfield does that for the Condors. Or it is 7,000 screaming kids all in the arena at once. And so whenever anyone scores, it doesn't matter who they score.
Yeah, of course.
It is 7,000 screaming children.
Well, yeah,
and they're just scared of the goal horn. They don't even know what's happening.
It is the most annoying game to watch all year. And it starts at like 11 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday.
If they get to 6-7 on the score, then it's really chaos.
Oh, God. I'm so happy it was like a 2-1 game, not... Oh, and anytime they showed a kid on the scoreboard,
every time, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, let's go to our count, which is the count of bold predictions, where Jackie is currently dominating with 10 correct. I have 6. Evan has 5. Ezra, you have 6. Brendan, you have 4. Last week's bold predictions. We did them kind of weird. I did them from my backyard. I can't even remember. I think you guys are going to have to help me and remind me what yours were so that I can give you your correct or your wrong. And usually how this goes, folks, if you're currently watching live, if you don't remember your own bold prediction, I'm willing to wager you didn't get it right. And so you get a wrong buzzer in that
You're
scenario.
Supposed to write these down.
Yeah, but I was outside. Remember, my kid was playing in the sandbox and looking at me like I was foolish because I was talking to the sky. So I didn't write them down. So Ezra, do you remember yours?
Mine was 5 points for McKinnon this weekend. He started out strong with that 3-pointer in the Chicago game and then put up an offer in Washington. So I get a buzzer.
I think mine's no. I think I said there'd be 3 power play goals in the Chicago game, and there were 2.
Yeah,
so that's a no.
Yep. Brendan has the look of defeat. Brendan,
because it's not my job to write it down.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brendan.
But it's true. You should know when you're victorious.
You know how much you run a site too. You know how much, and I have a kid to take care of. Dude, I shut this laptop, and I'm like, forget this.
Yeah. Who were they about to play? Were they about to get
Chicago?
They were about
Chicago and Washington. Right. I think. I do remember yours, Brendan. Yours was a Lucas Reichel. No, not Lucas Reichel. What's his name?
Nazar goal.
Frank Nazar goal.
Yeah. No, he didn't score.
You didn't get that.
No, he didn't score. I don't remember mine. So here you go.
Group effort. Come on.
I think you were a neat hat trick.
Yeah, something.
Oh, yeah, I think LOC third on the ice.
Yes. You love to see it, folks. Avs and Penguins in like 28 minutes and some seconds. Over on altitude. So be sure to head over there. But stay tuned, as now it is time for us to do our bold predictions for this week. And how fun. There's a game in like 10 minutes, so we can do one for this game that's about to come up. Let's do it.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
All right.
Let's call that bold talk.
I'm not in the garage.
Or the backyard.
I'm not in the backyard, baby. So we're writing these ones down. So feel like you're off the hook this time, Brennan. All right. As Evan is absent today, so he is written down as absent. He has no chance of furthering himself in this competition. And then because Jackie, you are both a lady and leading this competition, I will let you go first.
Okay. I kind of have 2 in a way. Okay. So my regular one is I'm going to keep the theme going and say Gerard has more points than Taze in this game. It's highly likely they'll both have 0, but I'm going to go with it. I'm also asking because I've been so certain that the Avs win this game, which I pretty much feel like we all kind of agree with that, but would I be allowed to wager one of my bold prediction points to get another one if they win this game? So can I guarantee it? Can I wager a bold prediction point?
What is this, Jeopardy?
Point?
So it's double or nothing, basically, is what you're going for.
So that you say I have 10. So if the Avs lose this game, then put me down at 9. But if they win this game, then I win 1, so I'd get 11.
And you can get your point for the Gerard and Taves points as well. I like it. I dig it.
Okay.
Interesting. Double or nothing.
I'm putting my guarantee that they're gonna win this Pittsburgh game.
You're doubling down on it, basically.
I'm good with this, but I want to throw a wrinkle in case if everybody agrees. I don't think you can get the Gerard point if they lose.
If the Avs lose.
Yeah. If you lose the other wager, then you don't get any points for this game.
Okay. So
does that make sense? Is that too much? Am I nitpicking?
Sure.
No, I think that's fair. So
but then I won't lose my point, so that I'd lose a point for them losing, but I wouldn't lose a point. I wouldn't be down to 8.
Right.
If Gerard, I just wouldn't win that one as well.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I dig it. All right, that's a good one. Elaborate.
I'm just trying to have a chance to catch up here because I think they're going to
win. Yeah, we're running out of time, so Jackie's really up there. Let's go with you then, Ezra. Where are you at?
Okay, I was also thinking about Gerard, and I am still going to do it, even though Jackie went there. I'm going to say Malinsky outscores Gerard, and that'll be. I have another idea, but I'll just do one. Yeah,
you can do 2 if you want. We're here. Why not?
All right. Okay. I think they fulfill the revenge game trope by beating Pittsburgh, but they break it by beating Winnipeg twice.
Ooh, that would be because I've been a little concerned because that's a home and home. Yeah.
I like that one. That one's good too because we can revisit it in the next.
So then you're saying they win all 3 games in the next.
I am, as I do every week. I think.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's fair. If they win all 3, if they don't.
When I used to write of the My Friday column, and I'd have predictions at the end. At one point, I was like, I think I predicted a win in every game ever. And the comments.
I predict they will lose by 10. Yes, I love it. All right, I dig it. We got fulfill the revenge game. They'll beat Pittsburgh, but they will go in opposition to the revenge tour and beat Winnipeg twice, effectively winning every game ever. Brennan, what's your bold prediction this week?
Nick Waugh scratched.
Wow, that would be. I'd be surprised. Are you saying he is?
Is that reporting?
Prediction?
You shouldn't check Twitter.
I doubt he scratched.
It's true.
Literally right after I said it, they posted it.
Nick Waugh has an upper body injury and is out tonight per team.
Oh well, then he's not scratched.
Okay.
Well, it's technically scratched. It's just
not by choice. It's the road trip.
I saw it, so that way I was cheating. So
that should be a bold prediction that they, even though it's not nice to forecast injuries, but there's no chance ever that the Avs go on a 4-game road trip and don't lose somebody. It's virtually impossible.
Yeah.
I say LOC assist.
I was gonna say you definitely shouldn't pick an LOC prediction.
Yeah, I dig that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that someone who we'll see if this one works. A player who has or does play for the Avalanche, play defense for the Avalanche will have a multi-point night. Is that enough?
Graves or
is it tonight specifically then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, it's possible for Makar,
Gerard,
but if it's just for tonight.
Well, we can caveat no Makar, Ado, you cheater.
I mean, that's up to you. If it's just for one game, I
don't mind that.
Yeah, I don't mind that Makar gets it if we're just talking about one game. If we're talking about the week, then that.
I'm also not sure. Is Graves playing?
I don't know. I think they called him up.
I think Shea is a game time decision. So if he's out, then Graves would play. But
let's see. I can check. Give me a sec.
So what were you saying? An Av or a former Av? Is that what you're?
Yeah, anyone that used to or does play defense for the Avs will have.
So that's only Gerard and or Soloyev,
Graves or Solovyov.
Yeah.
Graves is listed as a scratch.
Okay.
I think that's fine. That'll be interesting to follow.
I'll say this too: if it's Makar, I'll only take the point if one of them is a power play point.
Or I'd say it has to be a win. If I have to have a win to get
that's fair. Yeah.
That's better. Okay, yeah. So if Makar has a multi-point night, they also have to win. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so and then we're kind of all doing an and except for me and Brandon. Brandon, do you want to do an additional one tonight?
Because I won't remember it.
Oh, I love that. All right. Well, my and is going to be, I think that Logan O'Connor will play more than 15 minutes.
Woo!
Okay.
That's bold.
Wow.
It's if he can feel his hip after that.
I don't know that he plays more than 15 minutes fully healthy.
Yeah.
He'll be like, I wish I had
12?
taken some contact.
12 feels like a better bet. Yeah.
It's like I've seen players come off of hip surgery.
Will you give me 12?
And can
I'll
hardly
give you 12.
No,
walk.
I don't know about 12. I could see them.
14?
He's last line, dude. So he's gonna get like 5 or 6 if he's lucky.
It's got to be more than 12 because this game could go to overtime. They could lose somebody else.
All right, I'll go 14.
14. I'll accept
one
14.
less minute.
Yeah, you can have a buzzer. That's fine.
All right. Yeah, dude, you can have a free buzz. Why not? It's not going to count for you. So not in a good way.
We're going to go 12, 14, or 15. Oh,
hey,
we're going with 14. I think we said
next season. I'm counting the buzzes too, and you're going to win an award.
A Dunce award.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. For
the green
buzzes.
Jacket, the most minuses.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know. Evan might be in the running for that one.
Yeah, Anne asks, while out with a upper body injury, yeah, he will not be playing tonight. So I guess, Jackie, before we go, does that mean Bardakov or Brindley still in? Probably
is.
Bardakov is.
Brindley's the stretch.
I'm a little surprised. I'm a little surprised that they wouldn't then put Brindley in. But the thing is that I guess with the rule, they cannot send Bardakov down. So
they're gonna scratch or in.
Because Bardakov wasn't on the roster, the AHL roster during the trade deadline when it passed, so he cannot be sent down at this point now.
Which is a new rule. I think it's always been the case. Playoff. Well, it was always about the playoffs, but you literally can't. I don't think it was ever that strict. It was about the playoffs.
Yeah, so it was for the playoffs, and then that's why Keaton Middleton couldn't play last year. So they were able to.
Didn't want to waive him.
Who would claim him anyways?
Well, but that's what we think. That's what they think.
But and honestly, Evan wrote an article about it actually just yesterday at The Curious Case of Gavin Brindley. If you guys want to check it out on our website at Hockey Mountain High, that Brindley has just been kind of one of those up and down players. So check it out.
Is he aging in reverse?
He's aging in reverse.
Well, I'd say a lot of that has to do with opportunity. He's had some big moments, but it doesn't seem to matter. But we'll see with this Waugh injury and if Lehkonen. I bet Lehkonen isn't that close. I'd be surprised if he's in the next 2. So that might keep Brindley up, but you always got to worry about it after a road trip and coming home. But I know I've been saying it all year and it hasn't happened and he's still around, but they papered him down for a reason. They're getting all these guys back.
Yep.
They're not going to have him sit around. He's too young. He's not just going to not play.
Well, the format of his contract makes total sense in this moment right here and now, which
that too.
Yeah, which as you mentioned was why it wasn't a huge commitment because it enables them to do exactly what they're about to do, which is send him down, save some cash, and have a lineup that is made up of the guys that bet in our likes and potentially one guy.
But maybe he voodoo dolled Wah. You never know.
Speaking of injuries, last weekend, Wyatt and Mott took a puck to the face.
Ouch.
And lost 3 teeth. Has had 2 root canals.
Jeez.
Is slated to get a third. And had more than a dozen stitches.
Yikes.
Since then. I talked to him in the hallway yesterday or a couple days ago and got a big smile from him. And yeah, he said he could feel his heartbeat in his lip.
Oh my God.
He played without a bubble or a cage in his return.
Jeez,
9 days after the fact.
Well, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
And got in a fight.
Has he heard of Charlie McAvoy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe don't, my guy. Oh my goodness. God.
And I happened to talk to his wife right before that, and she's like, "Yeah, let's just say I'm gonna have some talking to him after."
Yeah, I'll say. Holy Moses. Jeez. Oh well. Happy healing, Wyatt Amat. Before we head out,
truly a dangerous place.
It really
especially
is. with
Wyatt around.
Which is, thank God, Logan O'Connor's not having a conditioning stint down there for that exact
Would we
reason.
really be worried? I mean, he knows how to play.
Logan,
there,
maybe.
Then again, he hasn't even
Logan.
taken contact, and he's going to play in an NHL game. But okay, we'll see how that
Logan
goes.
played 106 games down there. He knows what he's doing.
Well, I think I'll end it there. We are just a minute over an hour. I want to thank the 3 of you. Ezra, I want to thank you for carrying the torch last week as the host of the episode. You say, no, you did a great job, man, and I really appreciate it. Jackie, I want to thank you. You're a very good managing editor, and it's a very, very fun thing and quite a pleasure to work with you. So thank you for joining the program. Brandon, I love you, even though you call me short and you've only ever bought me 1 beer. But
we've only seen each other like twice. And one of those was in professional circumstances. There's no way I'm buying you a beer during that.
Yeah, you could have.
Well, we have to thank you. You know, you're the one that hosts and produces and publishes the show.
Heck yeah, well, I appreciate that. And it all is possible because of the 400 of you that are currently tuned in live and those of you that listen to our production after the fact. So thank you to all of you folks. Please head on over to the website, milehighhockey.com. Also head on over to Hockey Mountain High, where you can find the works of Brendan Vogt and Evan Liu. Please be sure to follow my esteemed colleagues on their preferred social media platforms, as well as turn on your alerts and subscribe to this content so you know every single time we are live, which is a lot more uniform these days. We are live every Tuesday and every Friday at 3:45 p.m. Mountain Time to bring you all things Colorado Avalanche. On behalf of myself and my colleagues, Ezra Parter, Brendan Vogt, Jackie K, I'm Adrian Hernandez. This has been Lab 136. And until next time, stay happy and go Avs.
Thank you for tuning into the Mile High Hockey Lab.